Hello everybody, it's Sarah, and today I want to talk to you about some authors where I'm very interested to read more of their books. So these are the authors where as soon as a new book is announced, I'll be on Twitter, I'll be on Goodreads, checking out the summary, seeing if it's something that I'm interested in. These are the authors where I follow them on Twitter, where I keep up to date with what they announce that is gonna be published. And these are also some of the authors where I'm very interested in checking out their backlists. Simply put, these are the authors where I want to read some more books from, so I can get a feel for the writing, so I can get a feel of what they're putting out, and so I can maybe get a feel of if they have the potential to be authors. Although, scrap the potential for some of these authors, there's quite a few authors on this list, actually, well, quite a few. There's 3 authors on this list that definitely already are authors. And also, before we get into all the authors, I have already done a video like this almost 2 years ago now, so I will leave the video link down below and up there if you're interested in checking it out. But if you're wondering where some authors are, like for example Madeline Miller or N.K. Jemisin, that's because I already talked about those authors in my previous video, so definitely go and check that out as well if you want to know some more of these types of authors for me. But yeah, let's start with an author that's probably the farthest away from being an author for me, and where I'm also not all that interested in checking out the backlist, and that is V.E. Schwab. In 2020, I read The Invisible Life of Eddie LaRue. I reread it last year. It was one of my favorite books in both years. I love the writing, I love the story, it's just absolutely gorgeous. And it definitely made me want to check out V.E. Schwab's future work. However, funnily enough, I'm still not all that interested in looking at her backlist and in reading her backlist. I'm not that interested in picking up, I don't know, what's it called? A Darker Shade of Magic or Wishes. I don't know why, they just don't interest me for some reason. However, I am now definitely someone who keeps up to date with V.E. Schwab, who keeps up to date with her newest releases. I also already have bought Gallant, so I'm probably going to read that sometime soon, maybe next month. But yeah, she has become an author where I definitely want to check out when she publishes something new. Check out if it's something that sounds interesting to me, and if it does, then I'm gonna buy it and I'm gonna read it. Then I have another author where I'm not sure yet how likely that author is to become an author because so far I have only read one book by them. I don't believe they have a backlist yet. I believe this was their debut, but that is Genevieve Gornichuch. I read The Witch's Heart last year. I really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed her take on Norse mythology and on Angrboda, so, you know, one of the big witches in Norse mythology. I really enjoyed the writing, I really enjoyed the storytelling, and I am definitely interested to see if she's going to continue on publishing more retelling type stories. So if she publishes something in the future, she's definitely someone who I will check out and who I will make sure if that book is something that interests me or not. And if it interests me, I will buy it instantly. And then the last one, who's kind of similar because I've only read one book by them so far, is P. J. Clark. And I read, I mean, I guess technically I could say I read 2 works because I also read A Dead Djinn in Cairo, which was the prequel novella to A Master of Djinn. And yeah, I just really enjoyed this as well. It's kind of, I'm going to repeat myself a lot, obviously, because there's not that many different reasons why I might want to, you know, check out a certain author's books. It's simply I enjoyed a book that I read by them or a series that I read by them. Although usually it's a series, I am not that often someone who will go and check out authors after just one book. I mean, I will obviously if I enjoyed the book, but you know, it's something else if I've read a whole series by an author or just one book. And so P. J. Clark, however, is also someone who I want to check out the backlist from. Like, I'm kind of interested in Ring Shout as well, although it's not necessarily, as far as I know, my usual genres. I think it's like a horror thriller type novel, but nevertheless I'm definitely interested in seeing where this author goes in the future, and I'm also definitely interested in seeing what the backlist looks like and how many of those books I enjoy. Next, I have an author where I read the first 2 books in a series from them. The 3rd book hasn't been published yet, and that author is Mike Brooks. I absolutely loved the world building in this series. I think it's so unique, and I do know that Mike Brooks has quite an expensive backlist, I believe, although I think most of those books are in the like Warhammer 40k universe. Not really that interested in getting into that. Also, it just seems like huge and I don't know where to start, so I'm just take my hands off that, not gonna try that. However, with Mike Brooks, anything that's not in the realm of Warhammer, I am so interested in picking up. I really want to see where he goes with his career, where he goes with his fantasy writing, because yeah, the world building is just something that's very unique. I mean, like, atmosphere-wise, it's maybe not that unique. It might seem quite similar to a lot of medieval type fantasy, but the social world building, the gendered world building is just so well done, and there's so many nuances there and so many details there that I've just rarely seen in fantasy, because as we all know, one of my biggest complaints of fantasy is that social world building is left outside, whereas everyone just concentrates on the magical world building, but this is not that type of rant. And so yeah, just really want to read more from him. Similar author, although without the backlist, is Fonda Lee. I am holding up the 2nd book in the Greenbone saga because the 1st book is like under this stack and I'm too lazy. But yeah, I'm currently halfway through, just over halfway through the 3rd book in the series, and I'm really enjoying it a lot. And again, it's just a case where there's very unique world building, really strong character work. And so I just think that Fonda Lee might be able to become one of the greats within the fantasy genre, if she isn't already. And so I definitely want to see where she goes, and I'm definitely gonna check out everything she writes in the future. Check out not as in read, but check out as in see what it's about. So yeah, very excited to see what her future holds. Next, I have an author where I have 2 unfinished series by them, although I guess maybe it's like a double author, and I'm talking about Marie Brennan as Marie Brennan and also Marie Brennan as part of the duo of M.A. Carey, so talking about the duo as well as the solo author. And yeah, Marie Brennan herself has quite a large, I think she has quite a few books in her back catalog. I'm not sure if all of them are adult or if some of them are YA as well, but I definitely want to check out all of her adult novels. I am currently 3 books into the Memoirs by Lady Trent series, enjoying it so much. And then obviously I've read the first 2 books in the Rook and Rose series by M.A. Carey, and I'm really hoping the 2 of them continue on with their collaborations and continue on writing books together, because this series, I have only read 2 books in the series because only 2 books are out so far, but this series is already one of my all-time favorite series. So yeah, this is one of those cases where Marie Brennan, at least for books that she's bringing out in the future, and also M.A. Carey, at least for books they're bringing out in the future, are already authors. Like, no doubt about it. By the way, I kind of have 2 types of authors, like authors where I will get everything, and then authors where I will buy their new books, because I just somehow find it way easier to, you know, keep up with new books than to catch up with books that have already been published. So yeah, very excited to see what else they're gonna bring. Next, let's go with 2 authors with big-ish backlists. First, I have Jacqueline Carey. I have read one of her trilogies. I have read the Crucial Star trilogy, the original first trilogy, but I have now already bought, I don't know, you can't see it, it's like right up there. I have bought the 1st and the 3rd book in the 2nd trilogy in the Crucial Start universe as well. But yeah, I have been rereading this series. I've really been enjoying my reread, and so I now, once I finish my reread, I definitely want to jump into Jacqueline Carey's back catalog. And also I do believe she has announced that she will bring out a new book in this world, maybe late 2022 or 2023. I'm not sure anymore, but yeah, I'm just excited. Also, she's an author who very early on, as in the early 2000s, already has a ton of LGBT rep. The main character of the Crucial Star trilogy is bisexual, and basically no one in this world, well, not in this world, but in this country, is really straight, because they appreciate beauty and not gender. But yeah, definitely excited to jump into Jacqueline Carey's back catalog. And then the other author where I'm excited to jump into their back catalog is Jenny Wurtz. I only read the trilogy that she wrote in collaboration with Raymond E. Feist, which is the Empire trilogy, starting with Daughter of the Empire. And I really enjoyed the first book. I didn't enjoy the second book that much. And then with the third book, I'm currently 100 pages into it. So far, enjoying it once again though, because it's very politics focused once again and just very intense. And yeah, I just want to see what she has written on her own as well. Although I don't know yet where I want to continue on, where I want to start. So if you have any recommendations, please leave them in the comments down below. Because so far, most of the books by her that I've checked out had like male main character, and I just really enjoyed Mara, our main character, as a character. So I just wanted to try and find a book by hers that also has a female main character. But yeah, definitely excited to see what else she has to offer. 3 authors left. First, let's start with the one of the 3 that is not yet an author, although like very close already, and that is Adrienne Martinez, who wrote the Texulan duology. This is a science fiction that I really enjoyed. I don't read a lot of science fiction, so I don't know if I actually don't enjoy science fiction, but you know, I already have such a big TBR with fantasy books. That's why I don't really look into science fiction, because I'm like, my TBR is big enough as it is. But anyway, I really love this. I love the social aspects of this. Once again, social world building in this, absolutely amazing. I loved the language. Adrienne Martinez is a linguist, so there was a lot of focus on language in this duology. And I just cannot wait to see where she goes in the future. Like, once again, I don't have that much more to add because I said everything already with the other books. It's just, I enjoyed this book and I want to read more from her. Lastly, 2 more authors. First, I have Jen Lyons. I have read her only series out so far, which is the A Chorus of Dragons series. I recently finished the Discord of Gods, and I already cannot wait to see what else she brings to the table. Because Jen Lyons' writing is very subversive, she takes fantasy tropes, she leans into them, she takes very old tropes also and just makes them more modern, and I just really enjoy her writing. Her storytelling is unlike anything else I have read in fantasy. It's not gonna be everyone's cup of tea, but it's definitely my cup of tea, and yeah, I want to read more from Jen Lyons, so please give me more. And lastly is an author who I don't even have to think about, probably currently makes it into my top 3 favorite authors of all time, and that is Nivo. Actually, the day I'm filming this, or yesterday, I'm not quite sure, Siren Queen was just published, and I'm hurting so much because the hardcover I would have to pay 26 euros for, or 27 euros, and that's so expensive and I don't have the money. But I also really want to read the Siren Queen. No, I don't necessarily do ebooks. I might check out the audiobook though, so yeah. But anyway, Nivo, gorgeous writing style, gorgeous storytelling, just beautiful stories. And I want to eat everything. Yes, I said eat. I want to literally eat everything up that she writes. It's so good. Just so good. And so yes, that was it for the authors that I want to read more from. Tell me in the comments down below, what are some authors where you maybe read 1 or 2 books but where you're definitely interested to see what they have to bring in the future, or where you may be interested in checking out their back catalog. If you enjoyed this video, maybe think about giving me a thumbs up and also maybe subscribing. All the links to my social media as well as to my book club of Queens, Witches and Valkyries, where you read 1 adult high fantasy book written by a woman or genderqueer person per month, will be left linked down below, so go and check those out, and I hope I'll see you soon. Bye!